Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I've been watching a lot of videos again about the watch market being dead, and a lot of graphs and a lot of charts and a lot of horse shit, and I'm just trying to think, well, is the watch market dead? I think it's on its way down again. It keeps going down, guys, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but the retail watch market is really on its ass. And I haven't done this from sitting here watching other videos and then rehashing what other people have said. I've gone out and I've had a look, and it is shocking. The shops are dead. There's nobody in there. Now, Rolex ADs, there's still wait lists. If you want watches like this, there is still wait lists, and I think there's always going to be wait lists. But interestingly enough, wait till you hear this. I went to Trafford Park in Manchester. I've got to stop going there because it really is a ghost town. Shop, watch wise, there's no customers. The shopping centre is packed. This is 6 o'clock on a Saturday evening, but there's nobody in the watch shops. Even the Rolex AD was quiet. I counted 5 assistants and there was only 1 customer. That's unusual because normally it's heaving in there. Heaving with people buying shit they don't want so that they can get their latest Rolex. Well, they weren't there. Maybe they took the night off. I don't know. So wait till you hear this. There's a pop-up shop, a Swatch pop-up shop in the middle of Trafford Park. It even has security, which is not needed because there's no demand for any of these watches. The latest Blanche Pawn watches at 6:30 on a Saturday evening, I could have had one of 3 of them. 2 of the colours weren't there. The blue one wasn't there and the grey one. I've forgotten the other colours, but I could have had one of the 3 other colours. I think it's green, yellow and orange. They're fucking horrible looking watches, but the green, yellow and orange was there. Apparently they only had 1 green left. Now I said to him, well, how have you got all these so-called hot watches? And he said, well, we've just had a delivery. And I'm thinking, yeah, right, you've just had a delivery of these watches that nobody wants. And I thought, he's a nice guy, let's have a chat with him. And I said to him, how are you selling these watches to people? How are you explaining the 3-year lifespan? And he acted like he had no clue what I was on about this 3-year lifespan. Either the staff don't know, or Swatch isn't telling them, or they know but they're not allowed to talk about it. Come on, Swatch. You might want to put a disclaimer up. You're selling an automatic watch without a battery that has a 3-year shelf life, allegedly, that's unserviceable, allegedly, and you're not telling purchasers that the watch is shite. Now, another thing he did say, that there is a 2-year manufacturer warranty on the watch. Well, maybe they should do a 3-year manufacturer on the watch, just so it covers you till the watch breaks. It's the truth. I went out there myself and I asked the question. Now, another interesting fun fact is the Swatch watches, the Swatch Omega watches, they're available to purchase. Okay, the Moon wasn't available, and I probably would have bought a Moon while I was there. I don't even wear the Mars, but I think they're lovely little toy Omega watches. They even had Uranus. They had Uranus. And they're still on about the 1 per customer. But I had the wife with me, so I could have purchased 2 Uranuses at the same time. I'm saying Uranus for the hell of it, because it's such a funny name. Uranus, I could have had 2 of them. That was an impossible to get watch a year ago. Even 6 months ago, you couldn't have got that watch. Well, believe it or not, I could have bought Uranus and Mars, which is a nice watch. Don't get me wrong, I like them, but that bubble is now gone. For those of you that have been waiting to buy a Swatch Omega watch, head down to Trafford Park, because this isn't the first time I've been there, and this isn't the first time they've had watches available. They may not have the colour you want, but just pick one and be done. They're not terrible watches. I think it's £220, they're not bad, but they're not Omegas. Just remember that. So what we've got to consider is this. We've got the Rolex AD is quiet. I've never seen it this quiet. We've got the new Swatch pop-up, dead. And then we go to Omega. Now Omega, that boutique is lovely. The staff are lovely. They're in there. Always helpful, always friendly. Never had an issue in there. And they let me try on some watches. But here's the thing. The latest Diver 300M Summer Blue is just sitting there unsold. Now again, same old story. We've just got one in. Really. And the 300 was there as well. Now, I like that watch. But is it a £7,000 watch? I don't think so. It's not really an original, is it? To just change the colour and just do a closed case back and charge more for the watch. Now, I would guess it's a limited production, not a limited run. And for that kind of a watch, a year ago, they would have sold out. And it gets worse. They had the Summer Blue Aquaterra as well. I mean, they had quite a lot of them. What they didn't have was the Paul Potts, whatever his name is, whatever that YouTuber is called. They didn't have the Blaupont, the Paul Pont, whatever they call it. I can never pronounce the name of it. And they didn't have the Deep Sea, the £12,000 one. Luckily for me, they didn't have that one. Now, I have an alert on my email that tells me when these watches become available, and trust me, they're all available. I could have bought them online. I could have bought them from my Omega boutique. The only Omega that I know about, the latest one that's not available, is the Spyrate, the new Speedmaster Spyrate, which is a gorgeous watch. But I don't even think Omega boutiques had them yet. Maybe there's a problem with them because I went to a presentation 6 to 8 months ago on that watch, and the watch still hasn't come out yet. So maybe there's a manufacturing problem. Maybe the Spyrate isn't working the way it should be. But I don't know anybody that's received that watch yet. Okay, so that's three shops that were dead. Now, I got to give an honourable mention to Breitling here. I was afraid to go into Breitling because last time I went in there, they were desperate to sell me a watch, any watch. They probably would have sold me the furniture. And again, there's nobody in there. The shop is dead. Dead. And I just stood outside thinking, looking like this going, oh, I'm not going in, never went in. Sorry, Breitling. I probably did you a favour anyway. So I've saved the best to last. Tudor. I'm trying not to shit all over Tudors, but remember, Tudors are not Rolexes. In the window, they had all the popular watches. Now, they said one of them was display only, but they had the hang tag on it. I know for a fact if I offered them the £4,500 for this overpriced racing toy looking watch, did look impressive in real life, but still £4,500 for a Tudor on a NATO, bit overpriced. I reckon they would have sold it to me, but they did say there was 3 week people waiting for the watch, and this one was display only. Right, now, what they did have available to purchase was every other Tudor, and I mean every other Tudor, and the latest Black FXD. I could have purchased that watch there and then. And I tried the watch on. Do you know what? It's not a bad watch, but remember, it's £3,500 for a titanium watch on a NATO. Now, here's the real kicker. I had the Pelagus 39. That was meant to be my last Tudor. That was meant to be my one and done Tudor. All the other 8 Tudors were gone. I was going to keep this one. This was going to be my swan song to Tudor, and it turned out to be shit. It was a piece of shit. Biggest problem with this watch was the lume on the hands. When you come in, you can't see the lume on the hands. I don't care anybody says their one's perfect. My one wasn't. The lume on the hands was a different lume part to the rest of the dial. Unlike this gorgeous Rolex here, the lume on the hands is exactly the same as the dial, and when I want to tell the time at night, I can read it. On my Pelagus 39, there was no lume, legible lume on the hands. There wasn't. So, the new Black FXD, I got my phone on it, got the light on it, put it inside my jacket, and there you go. Fucking lume on the hands is the same. It's a different lume part. Christ, if you went diving in this watch, you'd be fecking dead if you were using this to time your airtime, because you would not be able to tell how much oxygen you had left, because you wouldn't be able to see the feckin' time on the hands. You just wouldn't. I don't know how these divers are using these watches in the army or in the navy when they can't read the feckin' dial on the hands. I just don't get it. Anyway, I'm going off track. I think for $3.5 grand, the lume on the hand should be the same as the lume on the dial. It just should be. Right, so to sum up, this isn't one of them bullshit videos where it shows you the charts from last year and the charts from last week and the price of watches in China compared to the UK, all that horseshit. This is telling you that the ADs are quiet. The customers are not there. And if you, let's say you want a Tudor, now's the time to go and buy one, because there's no waiting list for these hot Tudors anymore. There's no waiting list for Omegas. Now, the Rolex ADs, I think there's always going to be a wait list because demand is there. I am one of those people demanding Rolexes. And I've got loads of friends that want Rolexes. It is the time of the collector. It is the time to buy a Rolex. It's the time to go in and see them, introduce yourself, get on the list for a watch. There's still a criteria, but I think it's achievable. I think you could get your dream Rolex within 6 to 12 months now, where before it was a lot longer. Now, I would just like to thank you for watching. I would like to thank you for being here with me and watching my videos. I've had a tragedy in my life recently, and I am just trying to cope with it at the moment. And my videos, there may not be as many coming out, and that's just the way it is. And I would just like to thank those of you who are still with me for your support and continued support. And I will catch you hopefully on the next video